I help people to transform their inner beliefs, and I help people to make changes in their behavioral and behavioral patterns and in their thought processes. So that's one of the biggest, I think, benefit of coaching. And I can tell that people are more self-reliant. They become more self-reliant after coaching process, and they become better communicator after coaching.
All right, everyone. Well, welcome to the Happy PharmD podcast. Today, I have an exciting episode for you guys today. I have one of our very own Happy PharmD coaches, Nazan Artun, for the podcast, and we're going to talk about the benefits of coaching. Welcome again to the podcast, Nazan. Thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to have a chat with you, Chris.
Absolutely. And I guess we'll just jump right in case we have some new listeners or some people just haven't heard episodes with you on it. If you don't mind just giving a brief background about yourself, where you're from, what you got into, or what was your reason for getting into coaching, and what you do currently as a pharmacist.
Sure. I'm originally from Turkey. I moved to Boston in 2013. And after moving to Boston, I got my license in Massachusetts. Actually, not right after. It took a couple of years to get that. And I'm a PhD. I did my PhD in Biotechnology Institute, and I studied pharmacogenomics and personalized medicine. And I'm a musician, as you know, so I have multiple fields that I am actively working in. But my coaching career, actually, it springs from years of interest of personal development, mindfulness, and mentoring and communication. And I have been coached in the past, and then I think I've been into many trainings again, and even I worked as a translator in one of the self-development centers in Turkey, because there were like international trainers coming from worldwide. So I really had a good exposure to coaching and again, personal development and spirituality and different teachings. And I think initially I was doing it for myself, but then after I moved to Boston, and when I felt like I'm safe and I'm kind of able to provide myself for my family, I'm ready to serve for people. That's where I decided to coach, especially healthcare professionals and professionals who are working in pharma industry, because that's my field and I feel related and connected to this population. And I've been coaching healthcare professionals since actively 2019. I've been in a Happy PharmD since 2020, and it has been a pleasure to just it has been a fabulous journey for me. I love coaching, actually. I think I'm born to be a coach.
I love that. And I know you brought up being a musician as well. We do have to have a jam session sometime.
Yes. When you get your drum set.
Yeah, once I get a drum set, since I had to get rid of mine after college. And if you didn't already know, drum sets take up a little bit of space, so it's not very easy to lug that around when you have an apartment. Currently I have the space, I guess, but now my wife said no, so for now. So
I don't blame her.
they're a little noisy, so.
Yeah,
I think my neighbors would thank her too for saying no. So, but yeah, so I love that, and like the whole idea of being born to be a coach. Like, I think that's awesome. But tell me a little more in terms of coaching in general. So, what is the benefit? Someone walks right up to you right now and says, "Why would I want to get coaching? Why do I need that?"
Yeah, good question. And actually, it's a very commonly asked question. As you know, we come across with this question very often. I even have friends who are approaching me asking that, what is the difference between a coach or a therapist? And if you don't mind, I want to provide some specific information related to those professions.
Yeah.
So we can at least have a understanding of what a consultant does, what a therapist does, and what a coach does. And I recently wrote this in one of my newsletters, so I'm just going to kind of refer to that. A consultant is an expert in a particular field who gives direct answers to your questions. A therapist works with you to resolve your mental and emotional struggles by focusing on the past. A coach helps you overcome your inner barriers in achieving your goals by focusing on the present and future. I think this is the most simple distinction, or like an explanatory description of these three professions. But I know that each profession is still kind of using the methods of another. Like a consultant can be a coach sometimes, a therapist can be a coach, or a coach needs to know, I believe that coaches needs to know basics of psychology. That's my kind of my belief, to be honest. So on and so forth. So but the coach is basically a coach helps you to transform yourself to be able to achieve your goals easily and to accelerate that process. Basically, that's I think that's the simplest way of explaining. But before talking about benefits of coaching, I actually want to speak about the importance of being coachable. You know that there's no benefits of coaching if the coach is not coachable.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
like, hitting against a wall. So if the person that you're working is not receiving the feedback, because providing feedback is the biggest part of coaching. So if the client, the coachee, is not coachable, so there's no benefits of coaching. Let's accept that, right?
Well,
um,
I mean, I think like the big thing is like kind of like what we do, right? Like kind of almost having an agreement with a coachee or client when you start is just kind of agreeing that you're both gonna put 110% into this, right? If like you said, if the coach is putting all their time and effort into it, but the client or coachee is just kind of taking it in but not really using it for anything and applying it to anything, you can only go so far. So
exactly. But also, I also would like to emphasize the meaning of coachable, which means capable of being easily taught and trained to do something better. This is the dictionary explanation meaning. But as you said, like being capable to actually not maybe taught, but just to receive feedbacks and to implement those different ideas, different techniques, different thought processes into their lives. So that's what I call as being coachable. So being open-minded, but also being proactive in your like decisions and in your improvement, not expecting everything from the coach, obviously. Because as you know, I mean, when we have sessions, I usually say that you're the boss and I'm just a supporting person. You're the lead and I'm here to support you, but you're the action taker. I cannot do anything for you. I can help you only. So that's the nature of the coaching client relationship. And also I want to I want to quote from Joseph Folkman. He's one of the, again, respected coaches and psychologists in the field. And he says that coachable people, or people who are pursuing coaching, they should be willing to take actions and make personal changes based on the input, based on the feedback, again, as we said. But also there's definitely research telling us about the correlation between coachability, competence, and effective leadership. So being coachable means that you are actually a better a leader. You are actually prone to improve yourself. So let's just keep that in mind before like talking about benefits of coaching.
no, I love that. And I feel like it's as pharmacists, I think, and a lot of people probably listening now are just saying like, I'm so stubborn, right? Or like, it's very hard for me to accept, someone else's, I guess you wouldn't have to say their way. Cause again, we're not telling them what to do. We're just kind of offering a little bit of our input and letting them, kind of make the decision after that, giving them the information, laying it all out and letting them come to the decision. But I think that's a hard part, right? Is and myself, in the back in the day, I was also a coachee, and that was probably one of my biggest hesitations, I would say, before wanting to be coached. I just wasn't sure, like, what is this all about? Kind of like what we're talking about now. And also like, I don't know, like I think I'm doing things right. But obviously, you know, if there's something you're trying to improve on, you know, you think you're doing maybe everything right, but it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. But there could be a different way to look at the same thing you're doing, and either doing it quicker, more effectively, or what, or possibly totally different. But I think that's a big hurdle to kind of overcome, is to be accepting of other people's input, and try to just be welcoming of new information from different directions, different people, which definitely will make it much more effective as well. So
Yeah, totally. And one of my mentors, Tasha Urich, she does excellent work in self-awareness, because this links to what you say, like being self-aware. And the majority of people think that they're self-aware. They know what they're doing, or they know how they're feeling, or they know their behavioral patterns. But according to her studies, her research results, I think it's like around 90 or 85 to 90% people are actually not self-aware, even though they think they are. So the percentage is like 10% of people are actually self-aware. They know what they're doing, or even though, so it doesn't match with the idea in their mind with the reality. And the biggest change happens actually, again, when you receive feedback from your close circle of people, your colleagues, your family members. And there's something called in leadership coaching, I don't know if you heard of it, like 360 evaluation. So it's like, I heard that it's brutal. It's really hurtful for leaders, because they literally just kind of interview everyone around you and just kind of get their real genuine opinions about you, and then telling you, and then you have to deal with it, right? But it's a part of the process. Seriously, it's just, if you don't accept your reality, you cannot improve yourself. You cannot just kind of go to the next level. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's just, it's not an easy thing to cope with, for sure.
Yeah, no, and I think, I mean, not to, I know we're going to get into the benefits shortly, but I think the biggest hesitation that I mean, you may see this as well, but, and I also can relate to it, is if you have maybe a significant other, you know, and they might not, you might be all on board for it, but then they might be like, I don't know, why do you need that? Like, you're doing fine. Or trying to get the support of your own family or friends, right? Not just the coach, but for the client. Like, sometimes if everyone else, it's very hard to want to do this if everyone around you isn't supportive. So I think it's kind of like being able to have a good why and a reason to, like, why are you interested in doing this after you decided, yes, I want to do it. It also, I think, is very beneficial if your surrounding, your family, your friends is very supportive. And I feel like that you can even have a greater benefit from coaching if everyone around you is like checking in on it and how's it going, and really supportive about your choice to do it.
Totally agree. And one thing that I want to add on to that is, in organizations, actually, that I believe that especially management members, they need coaching, but if they don't get the right support from organizations, then they cannot do it by themselves either. So as you said, we definitely need support from our management or our leadership or our family members during this process while we're going through that transformational process. Good points,
Absolutely.
Chris. Yeah, I know that we're going to talk about benefits.
yeah. So let's go right into let's go with one. I know you have a few on your mind, I'm sure. So
no, it's just, I really like the dynamic of this conversation. That's why we even forgot about what was the title again? That we're going to talk about something.
I know, I'm sure. So yeah, most people listening right now are like, okay, but like, what's the benefit? So like the title says, it's for the benefits of coaching. So
I have 10 minutes to say, then we'll be over.
But yeah, so let's go with, so what's the first one that comes to mind when you would want to describe coaching to someone?
So I have some research data. I already told you this, but what is the first one that comes to your mind? What do you think? I don't want to put you on spot, but
for benefits of coaching?
Yeah,
I mean,
number one.
probably finding a new position or something like that.
In career, you mean? Or
Yeah, I guess in general, like career or yeah,
okay.
Professional position, something like, yeah.
So kind of creating a change, right?
Yeah.
creating a better change, especially if this is a position that you don't want to just start to a new position that you don't want. So
And just
it's
so people listening know, I did not know the answer to this question. I'm asking this is the first time she's asked me the question. So
yes, I'm a jazz musician. I'm an improviser, so I'm improvising right now. So when you are going to make music with me, just be prepared for that.
sounds good.
Um, but no, that's the right answer, actually. Again, we're talking about behavioral change, and we are talking about actually a transformation in coaching. Because yesterday I was having this conversation with a coach friend, and she was asking my coaching practice. So what do you do in your coaching? And I really get stressed about it. And I already told you this, like I always want to take a look into my website to see what am I doing. But then I realized that I help people to transform their inner beliefs, and I help people to make changes in their behavioral patterns and in their thought processes. So that's one of the biggest, I think, benefit of coaching. And I can tell that people are more self-reliant. They become more self-reliant after coaching process, and they become better communicator after coaching. And I can give several examples from my clients. I have had clients and just who were struggling to communicate their needs in workplaces, who were struggling to speak up, and not just like staff members. Actually, I had clients who are in the management roles who were still struggling to communicate their needs with their reports. And after our coaching sessions, they were able to create a healthier work environment, because communication is the most important tool that we use everywhere. It's not just work environment, at home, everywhere, in friendship, in family, just everywhere. So communication is the basic, right? So people become better or more effective communicator after coaching. And this is, again, supported by research. And I can definitely provide the resources. And coaching also improves work productivity, as you can imagine, because when you become more self-reliant, when you become a better communicator, when you communicate your needs better, and if you receive response to those needs, then you become better at your job, you become more productive, right? And that also leads to um, um, better job and life satisfaction, which again makes sense, right? You're happier at job at work, and then you're more satisfied at work, and then you have more satisfaction at your personal life as well. So coaching is not just, and it's hard to actually measure the effects of coaching, and we discuss it a lot in our meetings, right? It's just so just kind of what are the effects eventually. But coaching is not just setting tangible goals. Coaching is also related to creating these intangible goals that have a broader impact on our lives, in our workplaces, in our personal relationships. So these are the main ones that come to my mind. But I can provide some research data if you
Yeah, absolutely,
to.
absolutely.
So I'm going to directly read from the reference. So for example, according to ICF Institute Coaching Federation resources, 80% of people who receive coaching report increased self-confidence, which is a very important thing, Chris. And I have also experienced this in my clients as well. I have clients who were suffering from imposter syndrome, which is a very common thing in pharmacy and
Absolutely.
among women. So according to, again, the research, 80% of people receiving coaching report increased self-confidence, and over 70 benefit from improved work performance, relationships, and more effective communication skills, as I already told. And 86 of companies report that they recoup their investment on coaching and more. So these are big numbers. 86. So it's obvious that the benefits of coaching is not just in individual levels, it's also in organizational levels as well. And I want to stop talking.
No, and I think the big point, I think, and also like this is a big hurdle, which I forgot to include. Another big hurdle might be the investment, right? And I just want to tie this together. So like, that's a big thing, right? You might get a little bit of sticker shock per se, like or your significant other or family members might be like, whoa, like you're gonna spend how much, and like, but they're really, it's very hard to put a value on. It's investing. I would look at it more as investing in yourself and not just upfront a lot of money or whatever. Because at the end of the day, you're saying, right, you're increasing your self-confidence, your productivity, your communication skills. At the end of the day, not only will you recuperate that, I guess you could say monetary wise, but also in so many other ways that you can't put a number on, many intangible ways or factors. And I feel like finding that, even not setting money aside or anything monetary wise, just kind of looking at finding that work-life balance and what's important to you and prioritizing all of that is like priceless already. And I feel like that's a huge aspect of coaching, is it kind of helps you prioritize, like, what is my goal in life? What is my purpose? What do I actually want to do? What's important to me? Is it a title? Is it a job? Or is it like, feeling like I'm helping others and making a difference in the world, and also enjoying what I do at the end of the day, and not just, making a paycheck and getting that every couple of weeks. So I think that's a big part. And I felt like it tied really well into what you were saying. So I'll let you go right in. Sorry.
No, great point though. It's just like, you invest on your happiness, like, because all these things we're talking about, like, being more productive at work or being a better communicator, having a better self-confidence. It's just kind of having hope about your life, your future, and it makes you happier, right? So who wouldn't want to invest in her happiness in this case? And that's also another sign for me when I have possible prospects reaching out to me. I always think that if they have second thoughts about the investment, that's also kind of a sign of their commitment level. Because I think, and this is really important, I always ask my clients in the first session, what is their commitment level from 1 to 10, like scale of 1 to 10. So if they're really committed, it means that they are willing to do anything. And so having that, like, just kind of decision, or giving that decision and giving that, putting that financial investment is, as you said, is investing in yourself. And it's a sign of your commitment to yourself, your improvement. The only question in here is, I think, the challenge to find the right person, because there's always, it's like finding the right coach for yourself, finding the right program for yourself. And the only thing that I can recommend to people out there is just to do a thorough research and to read referrals, to check the coaches or the company's previous work. And just kind of before, or the majority of the places, or so, like companies or coaches are also offering a free consultation anyways. So
you read my mind. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, just trying that. At least you're doing something before, like, just putting all of your money into it. But I wanna touch base a little bit about the benefits of coaching in organizations, because that's something that I'm very much passionate about, as you know, because I especially want to contribute to organizational changes in healthcare and pharma. So again, according to the research, coaching empowers individuals and encourages them to take responsibility at workplaces, increases employee and staff engagement, which is a big issue. I'm telling you, the staff and employee engagement is decreasing over the years. And I don't have the data right now, but I can just tell you that, I can assure that it is a fact. And also, coaching in organizations improves individual performance, which we already talked about it, and helps identify and develop high potential employees, right? So it's just being coachable and not being coachable. So it's kind of differentiate in between these two. And then also coaching helps to identify both organizational and individual strengths and development opportunities. It's like kind of brushing the um, diamond and just saying, oh, this person is shining and is better in this department, and this person has different skills that we can use. It all comes with the coaching sessions, because in coaching you gain clarity, as you know, and it helps to motivate and empower individuals to excel, which is also kind of a responsibility of the leaders mostly, right? The leaders are the ones who are supposed to motivate their team. And just kind of long story short, it's kind of, it demonstrates the commitment to human resource development in general. So these are the, again, benefits of coaching in organizations. There are, I was shocked actually, I was not expecting this, but there are like really numerous articles and posters out there that people can take a look if they're interested in depth. There's Institute of Coaching, which I'm also a fellow member of it. It's based in Boston, McLean Hospital, which I used to work. It's the biggest psychiatric hospital in Northeast. So if they're interested to look into more research and data related to that, they can definitely check their website, Institute of Coaching, McLean Harvard University.
Awesome. No, I love that. And I guess in terms of, I know we're getting close to wrapping up, but I guess I feel like, after talking through this, and I'm sure people listening, they're also as everyone listening right now, COVID is still going on very strong, unfortunately. And, let's say someone is maybe on the fence, they've been considering it and going back and forth. Why is right now a really good time to do coaching, to get into it?
Such a good question. Chris, I think this is the right time because we have all the time to ourselves right now. We are so limited with our other activities. I think this is the best time to invest in our personal development because we have nothing else to do, to be honest.
Well, I always tell a lot of people, like a lot of my clients, like right now is probably the best time to network because people, either you're working from home or you're not, you have a little more free time because you're not driving in and out of work. But
yeah, we may not have that flexibility in a couple of years. Hopefully we won't, because I really don't want pandemic to stay. But I think this is the best time to invest in our personal development and just kind of try or kind of stretch our skills a little bit, because we are going through a lot of changes and challenges, and we're talking about it, like, we just talked before the podcast. So I think it's a way of also giving us an opportunity to grow and to hope for better. It's just, hope is the core of vitality. Hope is the essence of life. So I think just having coaching and just provides us that essence of life. That's what I could say.
Yeah, and I feel like, it just kind of came to my mind here quick. I feel like one thing we also should bring up as well is just the importance of, a lot of us are like, why do I need to coach? Like I can push myself, I can set goals, but a lot of people, a big thing is, and we've been talking about this in some of our meetings and earlier, is the accountability factor. I feel like that's one thing that, as everyone, you think back to school and like, you had a test coming up, you were being held accountable, you had to learn the information and you have a test, like you have to do it, right? Or you have an assignment due. But right now, if someone isn't telling you to do it or giving you a date and time and when you're going to do this and how are you going to do it, and follow up and send me a reminder and let me know when you completed it and everything, a lot of us will push it off, right? It's too easy, especially right now with everything going on, because it's I mean, like you said, this is the most time and also the most time to not do it, I guess, because in a way you kind of get used to just not, you pretty much have work and then it's like you can't go anywhere or anything like that, or very limited. So it's very also hard to find that motivation. But if you have a coach by your side motivating you, pushing you harder, checking in with you, holding you accountable, I feel like that's just it's a recipe to help you grow that much and accelerate that much faster in your
Yeah,
process.
exactly. I totally agree with you. One quick note. I have a therapist client who recently reached out who's who needs help in her time management skills. Again, it's like, as you said, it's like having an accountability partner, but also it's like having someone to give you, like, tools that you need and just kind of track your improvement during that process. Because especially nowadays, it's really hard to be alone. We are lonelier than we were before. So I think it's just kind of having a good match, a coach is a blessing, and it can be like a birthday present, I guess.
No, I feel like it's such a cool thing. And you just, even looking back, with, you think of a pharmacist coach, you think back 5-10 years, like something like this, never didn't exist. There's always been career coaches, or, but then like life coaches are becoming more popular as well. But I feel like you think of like a pharmacy career, like it's such a niche aspect of coaching that you don't see. And I feel like it's such a cool idea, and just a great way to really help our pharmacists in need, and just trying to, even if
Yeah,
you're in a role, if you're in a role that you may be okay with, right, you're not super satisfied, you're okay with it, you're comfortable. But that's the thing, right? It's all about digging deep and determining that self-awareness, like you said, and
yeah.
figuring out what really is it, what's your true goal, what is your aspiration in life. So
One quick tip to
yeah.
our listeners: change doesn't come from chaos. That's why the first thing that I do with my clients, my pharmacist clients, especially who are burned out, unfortunately, I try to pursue the peace in present with them before making the move. So coaching has that benefit as well, kind of helping you to find a balance before you can just kind of go to the next step or pursue the next position or workplace. Um, just like a quick tip again, you first need to be balanced to be able to do the next step, to be able to put your next food from. That's my belief, and that's my kind of style of coaching.
No, I like that. That's really cool. And as we're closing up, just if anyone had questions and wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way?
I have a website and I have all of my information there, drartun.com, but I'm also accessible from Happy PharmD too. So I know that my information is there too, wherever. I mean, they can reach out to me from LinkedIn as well, but my work is the majority of my work is in my website, drartun.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nizan. I really appreciate you joining me today. And this was an awesome, awesome time. So thank you again so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me, Chris. See you next time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, everyone. Well, thank you so much again for joining us today on this episode of the Happy PharmD podcast with one of our fellow coaches, Nizan Artun. Just want to emphasize the overall importance that we see with coaching overall with pharmacists and in general. That transition, to see someone who originally you may be in the position of despising your current role or just overall not enjoying it and not really knowing what it is that you want to do moving forward, but you just know in your gut that your current position is not what you see yourself doing in the long run. And just seeing that transition from someone who wakes up every morning just not looking forward to work to completely the opposite, almost jumping out of bed excited to go to work and not even wanting to label it that, right? That's the ultimate goal, is to get to a role where it doesn't feel like work, where you truly enjoy it that much. You're challenged, you're following your dreams of the vision that you create through the program. And it's just an absolutely amazing thing to see, just that light bulb go off in coaching, where someone determines, hey, this is what I want to do. And it's not only just about professionally, it's also personally, finding that balance and overall just finding something that you truly enjoy to do. And going through this program personally, I can over 100% attest to how big of and dramatic of a difference coaching can make for someone. So please take the time to check out the link below to answer some questions at thehappypharmd.com. patreon.com/HPD podcast. Again, the link is in our notes below. Please take a look at this, fill out a couple questions. We'll be more than happy to reach out to you and just to talk to you and see if coaching would be a good fit for you. Again, as always, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.